Hello everyone. So here we'll be discussing about differing strands within the movement. That is the course of non-cooperation movement in the towns, in the countryside and among the plantation workers. So the non-cooperation Khilafat movement began in January 1921 and various social groups participated in this movement, each having their own demands, and all of them responded to the call of Swaraj, that is freedom. But the term freedom meant different things to different people. Let's see the course of non-cooperation movement in the towns. So the movement started with middle class participation in the cities. Middle class people, they started participating in the non-cooperation movement. How? Thousands of students left the schools and colleges which were controlled by the Britishers. The headmasters and teachers resigned and the lawyers gave up their legal practices. The council elections were boycotted in most provinces except Madras. So in Madras, the council elections were not boycotted. Why? Because in Madras, the Justice Party, that is the party of the non-Brahmins, they felt that the entering the council was one way of gaining some power, something that usually only Brahmins had access to. So this Justice Party of Madras, they felt that whatever power and privileges the Brahmins were enjoying, they will only get if they enter into the council or politics. Now coming to the next paragraph, here we'll see what are the economic effects of non-cooperation movement. So foreign goods were boycotted, liquor shops were picketed. Picketed means it is a kind of demonstration where people block the entrance, and foreign clothes were burnt in huge bonfires. The import of foreign cloth happened between 1921 and 1922, and its value dropped from rupees 102 crore to rupees 57 crore. In many places also merchants, that is big businessmen and traders, they refused to trade in foreign goods and finance foreign trade. And as the boycott movement spread, people, they started discarding the imported clothes that were coming from the Britishers, and they started wearing only the Indian ones. So as a result, the production of Indian textile mills and handlooms went up. That is, the demand of Indian textile mills increased. But this movement in the cities gradually slowed down for a variety of reasons. So let's see what are the reasons. So khadi cloth was more often expensive than mass produced milk cloth, and poor people could not afford to buy it. So the cloth that was produced by the Indians were very expensive, and boycott of British institutions also posed a problem. British institutions such as schools, colleges, courts, and for the movement to be successful, alternative Indian institutions had to be set up, but they were very slow to come up. So again, students and teachers, they began to government schools, and lawyers, they joined back work in government courts. Now come to rebellion in the countryside. Here we'll discuss about peasants in Awadh and tribals in Gudim hills of Andhra Pradesh. Let's see what were their problems and what was the meaning of Swaraj to these people. So in Awadh, peasants were led by Baba Ramchandra. Their leader was Baba Ramchandra, who was a sannyasi and had been to Fiji as an indentured laborer. So indentured laborer means he was bonded laborer, and here the non-cooperation movement was against talukdars and landlords. So these talukdars, they were having large areas of land, and they used to collect taxes from the peasants. So let's see what were the problems faced by the peasants of Awadh. So these talukdars and landlords, they demanded from peasants high rents and taxes. peasants had to do beggar and work at landlords' farms without any payment. So beggar is a practice where the villagers, they were forced to work or do labor without any payment. As tenants, they had no security of tenure. These tenants, they do not have their own farm. They used to work in the farms of landlords. And these peasants, they were being continuously evicted by these landlords so that they could acquire no right over the leased land. That is, where they're working in those farms, they could not claim their rights. So the main problems were they were demanded high rents and taxes by talukdars and landlords. Second is they had to do beggar and work at landlord's farm without any payment. And third is they had no security of tenure and they were regularly evicted so that they could acquire no right over the leased land. Now let's see what was the meaning of Swaraj to the peasants of Awadh. Their main demand was reduction of revenue, abolition of beggar, and social boycott of oppressive landlords. So to fulfill their demands, in many places, Naye Dhobi Bands were organized by panchayats so that these landlords will not get the services of even barbers and washermen. And in June 1920, Jawaharlal Nehru, he began going around the villages in Awadh, talking to the villagers and trying to understand their problems. By October, the Oath Kisan Sabha, here you can remember this one, Oath Kisan Sabha was set up and headed by Jawaharlal Nehru as well as Baba Ramchandra and a few others. And within a month, over 300 branches had been set up. But somehow, the Congress leaders were unhappy with the peasant movements in Awadh. Because as the movement spread in 1921, the houses of talukdars and merchants were attacked, bazaars were looted and grain hoards were taken over. And in many places, these local leaders, they told the peasants that Gandhiji had declared that no taxes were to be paid and land was to be redistributed among the poor. Even the name of Mahatma Gandhi was being invoked to sanction all action and aspirations. So these were some of the reasons why Congress leaders were unhappy with the peasant movements. Now let's move to the tribals of Gudem Hills of Andhra Pradesh. The tribal peasants interpreted the message of Mahatma Gandhi and the idea of Swaraj in yet another way. And here also the Congress leaders were not happy with the tribal movements in the Gudem Hills of Andhra Pradesh. So let's see what were the difficulties faced by the tribals. Here the colonial government had closed large forest areas. The tribals, they were mostly dependent in forest areas, but the British government had closed the large forest areas and prevented people from entering the forest to graze their cattle or to collect fuelwood and fruits. So these hill people or these tribals, they got angry because they felt that not only their livelihoods were affected, but they were being denied their traditional rights. And when the government began forcing them to contribute beggar for road building, as we know, beggar is a practice where people are forced to do labor but they were not being given payment. So when the British government forced these people to contribute beggar for road building, these hill people or the tribal people started revolting. And who came to their rescue? He was Alluri Sitaram Raju. So these tribals, they were led by Alluri Sitaram Raju, who claimed that he had a variety of special powers. He could make astrological predictions and heal people, and he could even survive the bullet shots. So these tribals, they were captivated by the words of Raju. They were motivated and started, these rebels proclaimed that Alluri Sitaram Raju was a incarnation of God, that is, he was a form of God. So Raju started talking about the greatness of Mahatma Gandhi or praising Mahatma Gandhi and said that he was inspired by the non-cooperation movement and persuaded people to wear khadi and gave up drinking. So it seems like this Alluri Sitaram Raju was a great follower of Mahatma Gandhi. But there was a little bit difference between the two. That is, at the same time, Raju asserted that India could be liberated only by the use of force, not non-violence. But Mahatma Gandhi was supporting non-violence. So, these Gudem rebels, these tribals, they attacked police stations, they attempted to kill the British officials and carried on guerrilla warfare for achieving Swaraj. So, what is this guerrilla warfare? It is a kind of war which was fought by small groups against the larger forces. So, these were some of the reasons why the Congress leaders were unhappy with the tribal movements. Now, let's see Swaraj in the plantations. What were the problems faced by the plantation workers and what were their demands? So, under the Inland Immigration Act of 1859, these plantation workers, they were not permitted to leave the tea gardens without permission, and they were rarely given such permission. So, for them, freedom meant the right to move freely in and out of the confined space. Here, confined space refers to the tea gardens because they were not permitted to leave the tea gardens. So, they were enclosed within that. So, for them, freedom meant to come out of those tea gardens and retain a link with the village from which they had come. So, when these plantation workers heard about the non-cooperation movement, thousands of workers, they defied the authorities. That means they disobeyed the authorities. They left the plantations and headed towards their home because they believed that Gandhi Raj was coming and everyone would be given land in their own villages. But however, unfortunately, they never reached their destination. On the way, they were caught by the police and they were brutally beaten up.